Unleash your subconscious mind with these techniques. Constantly play the mental movie of your life that you consciously chose. Believe it or not, we already play mental movies in our heads. We play mental movies when we're planning. We play mental movies when we're looking forward to something. In fact, when you were a kid, you probably played mental movies all the time. Do you remember in the middle of summer thinking about Christmas? When you thought about Christmas when you were a little kid, what kind of images came to mind? A movie came to mind. You start thinking about unwrapping that toy that you've always wanted. You imagine yourself marveling at the Christmas tree with all those neatly wrapped gifts at the foot of the tree. It's that anticipation for Christmas, along with the freshly cooked meals and the smiles on everybody's faces, as well as the warm hugs of family and friends that you haven't seen in a long time. That's what made Christmas so special. And it's all in vivid display in the mental movie that we played to ourselves when we were kids. You already know how to do this. What I'm asking you is to recapture that ability. If you still don't get me, here's a negative example. Have you ever worried yourself sick? Have you ever been gripped with so much anxiety about something going horribly wrong? Chances are you were playing a mental movie in your head. Maybe you were thinking that your boss will find out about what you did at work and you will find yourself out on the streets without a job. Perhaps you were worried about missing the rent payment, and you are gripped by the fear of being put out by your landlord and becoming homeless and living out of your car. People already do this, but they often do it in the context of fear or regret. The good news is we don't have to keep playing that kind of mental movie. We only need to switch the direction of that mental movie viewing skill that we already have to something more positive. Focus on your plans. Focus on your subconscious mind working for you. Think of concrete examples of this, like getting a better job, getting promoted, going back to school and doing well, and pair this with real actions. Don't just delude yourself that somehow, some way, I'm going to go back to school and I will learn the skills that I need to take my life to the next level. That's not going to work. There has to be matching action. There has to be some sort of proactive action of a decision that you have taken. This mental movie just gives it more immediacy. You get that fresh dose of willpower to keep pushing you forward. After all, when you make any kind of plan, there will always be opposition. There will always be an unforeseen event. As the old saying goes, life is what happens when you're making other plans. Your plans may seem crystal clear to you. Everything might fit neatly, but by the time you actually take action on them, things turned out to be a bit more complicated than you had hoped. That's how life works. Life is full of curveballs. You're going to have to roll with the blows. Learning how to play your mental pictures the right way works wonders in rolling with the blows and making you more versatile and flexible as a person. Write down the ideal life for yourself based on your vision board. Do you have the images? Now, write down a summary of that. Write down a script of that. Read it again and again until you can memorize it. Does it make sense to you? Does it strike deep? Is it true? Does it strike to the core of who you are? Does it speak of your character? If your answer to any of these is no, you have to go back to stage 1 and repeat until you answer all these questions with a resounding yes. Turn your statement into a mental video. Now that you have a statement of your full mind enabling you to achieve your biggest goals in life, turn it into a video. Imagine yourself with a full mind achieving these things. It must be vivid. It must be clear. There has to be no hint of a hope, a wish, or some passing fancy. It has to be so real in your mind that you can reach out and touch it. Unleash the power of all your senses when mentally rehearsing your desired reality. Your subconscious mind remembers. It writes future reality in the form of intuition. But you have to help it along. You have to keep rehearsing the mental movie that you have written for yourself and make sure that you engage all your senses. While sitting back and watching a movie play out in front of your eyes is very powerful, we can take things to the next level when we add all our senses in that movie. Don't just imagine the things that you can see. Don't just vividly see an alternative reality. Pay attention to what you hear, touch, taste, and smell. Engineer these into your mental video. This is your preferred reality. This is your chosen outcome. Unleash the power of mental states. There are many times in your life when you feel empowered. It seems like your body and your mind are lined up, and you can make things happen. Remember that time at work when you were tired, but you were still able to complete your assignment and then some? Remember that time at school when you were supposed to read 200 pages and you were able to finish 500 pages? Remember that sense of pride that you got when you graduated high school and received your diploma? Zero in on those memories. Tap the power of your subconscious mind, animating those memories. Because if you can achieve that same physiological state, you would be able to overcome your conscious mind's worries, limitations, and blockages to achieve the same result. Let's put it this way. If you can achieve success in the past, what's preventing you from achieving victory now? You were able to do it before. So when you assume the physiological state, when your chest is out, when your back is straight, when your eyes are wide open, and there's a smile on your face, and there's this can-do attitude that just basically fills you, you are able to break out of the current funk that you're in, because if you don't change anything, you will get the same results. As the old saying goes, insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's not going to happen, so you have to change what you do. That means change your physiological state, because obviously it's not doing you any favors, and you need your subconscious mind for this. Trust your subconscious mind when doing planning. It's very easy to plan on a straight 1, 2, 3 basis. You're basically just going through the motions. You're just filling in a template of what you already know. There's really no creativity there, much less intuition and insight. This is where your subconscious mind can come in. Look at that blank page, and instead of feeling bound to do things the exact same way you've done them 1,000 times before, let your subconscious mind fill that blank page with no preconceptions. You'd be surprised at the results. You'd be surprised at the connections you are able to make, which can lead to breakthroughs. Please understand that this requires discipline. So your subconscious mind and your conscious mind has to line up. But the good news is, if you just let your subconscious mind fill it out, just off the top of your head, anything that comes to your mind, and then you can reorganize, and then rationalize, and then come up with something better. Learn to trust the moment. I know you're supposed to hold your tongue. I know you're supposed to think before you talk. But oftentimes great breakthroughs are made when something out of the blue was said at the right time, and this changes the trajectory of the conversation and unleashes a chain reaction. Remember, you are always sending vibrations to the lives of other people around you. You have an effect on the universe. You have an impact. It can be your facial expressions. It can be your proposals. It can be your actions. It can be your words. There's just so many ways you can impact people around you. But instead of constantly checking yourself, worried sick about what other people would think, trust your subconscious mind if it's pushing you to say something. It may come off as rude, it may seem like you're interrupting people, but that might be exactly what's needed. That might be the push that leads to the breakthrough. So trust yourself. Tap your subconscious mind to forgive yourself. There are many memories that we hang on to that make us sick to this very day, or make us feel bad or feel small. They are flat-out lies, seriously. They are false memories. They had some sort of association in the past, and for whatever reason, we thought it actually happened, when it turns out it's not true. You have to be honest with your subconscious mind because it's stockpiling all of these. Your conscious mind contains some of these, but your subconscious mind gives it power. So your job is to revisit your personal past. I know that it's painful to think about past child abuse. You're probably not all that thrilled to remember that day when your father abandoned your family. But you have to look at those events and figure out what actually happened. What is its interpretation? And what did I blow up out of proportion? What did I read in? You'd be surprised that even in situations where bad things did happen, like your father or your mother did abandon you, it doesn't have to be crippling. It doesn't have to be this weight that you have to carry with you for the rest of your life. Allow your subconscious mind to unlock its secrets and get in there and take ownership of its contents, catalog them, and then analyze them. Ultimately, it's all about, are the memories that I'm holding on for dear life helping me to get ahead, or are they just dragging me down and making me feel small or weak, powerless, ugly, repulsive, talentless, incompetent, stupid? You're the only person who knows how to do this because everybody's different. But you have to go in there. You have to get into that mental warehouse of your subconscious mind and take stock. Otherwise, these things will have weight. The weight of the past will continue to drag you down along with the fear of the future.